Hello everybody, welcome to a little Achieve Nothing Equifax edition. We'd like to talk a little bit about the Equifax data breach and why our CEO here has some interesting insight into some of the information relating to that. A quick recap, Equifax was experiencing a data breach between May and July of 2017. They didn't actually tell the public about that until September, so there are a lot of questions right now about this. People obviously freaked out. They were worried about their information being leaked. Equifax put up a website and many people were told their information may have been leaked. But you had an interesting response to that. You said to me that really people should be less worried about their social security number being stolen because it's probably already out there. And I would like to know a little bit more, as I'm sure the rest of the audience would.
Yeah, absolutely, Chris. I mean, understandably, the theft of 143 million social security numbers has created some stress in our communities, and that makes sense because social security numbers are used for many different things. They can be used to open up credit cards and bank accounts. They're used to identify you in a lot of cases. You might find your bank or your credit union or other organizations uses that information to allow you access to your accounts over the phone. They can allow you to print your health insurance card. So there's a lot of different accounts that can be accessed if someone has your social security number. But yeah, I've been saying to people, don't worry, your social security number has already been stolen. And this is a good opportunity for us as a society to come to terms with that fact that that information is probably already out there. For example, in 2015, Anthem announced a breach of 78.8 million social security numbers. So those were exposed at that time. We also saw the Office of Personnel Management, the OPM hack, the same year, where 21.5 million social security numbers were released. And there have been many, many other incidents over the years and breaches that have been reported. When you add that all up, millions of social security numbers have already been stolen. And there are probably many other cases that were never detected or never reported. In my upcoming book on data breaches, I lay out the 5 data breach risk factors, and these are associated with a piece of information. So those 5 factors are proliferation, access, liquidity, value, and retention. So to go through each of these, one is proliferation. How many copies of this information exist? So who has your social security number right now?
Oh man, literally, I mean, like I was saying, obviously the state for driver's license, all of my credit cards, my bank probably, my apartment.
People that handle billing for doctor's offices or any kind of identity verification. So you find administrative assistants have access, IT folks have access, any loan officers, tellers, you name it. And sometimes even third-party vendors like janitors might have access, not on purpose, but they walk through organizations where paper just sits around or file cabinets are accessible. Definitely. So within those organizations, many different people have access to your social security number. So that is the second data breach risk factor. Okay. The third one is liquidity, which means how easy is it for this information to flow. When you're trying to download a movie, that could be a little bit challenging just because of the volume of data. Sure. But a social security number is itty-bitty. It's an itty-bitty little piece of information. It's very, very easy to send that social security number somewhere else. And that is structured data. It's very easy to throw into a database and fetch out. So it's very liquid. It's easy to transfer to other places. And it's easy to steal. The fourth data breach risk factor is value. So what kind of value does this have on the black market? And your social security number is cheap, I'm not going to lie, but it has retained value over the years. If you look online in dark markets, you'll find that it's often bundled with other sensitive information, your date of birth, your address, your mother's maiden name, maybe credit card numbers, and it's sold in a bundle, maybe for $1 or for $2. So it's something that adds value.
And that's the perfect combination to start identity theft, correct? Those like 4 or 5 pieces of information.
Absolutely. Yeah. In fact, there are sites online where you can buy social security numbers in bulk, and the price goes down the more you buy. So if you buy 999, you'll get a better price than if you just bought 90. Yeah, exactly. So value is the fourth one. And then the last data breach risk factor is retention. How long are people hanging on to this information? How long do you think your doctor's office holds on to your social security number or your employer or whomever?
Well, years and years, because you have to hold on to information for at least 5 or 7 years, I feel like.
Sure, in
most
offices,
most places. So it's definitely out there for many, many years longer than you've probably even forgotten where you gave it to an organization.
And you can't change your social security
Correct.
number, at least not very easily. We're not going to change 143 million social security numbers anytime soon. And so it retains its value over time, and organizations are hanging on to it because of that.
Sure.
So those are the 5 data breach risk factors. And when you put them all together, you can see that your social security number is one of the highest risk pieces of information that exists. There are so many places for it to be stolen. There are so many reasons why people might want to buy it or sell it or use it. And so it's out there.
Yes, and unlike a credit card number, which if you lose it, you get a new one and that number is canceled, like you said, your social security number is always attached to you. It does not change. So it's one of the few things that is always linked to your name regardless.
Yeah. So, there's no way to change it. And so anyway, we should sleep tight knowing that it was probably already stolen years ago. Don't worry, it's been stolen for a while.
There are other things to worry about.
There are other things to worry about. I worry about my medical records getting stolen. That could be the
Absolutely.
subject of another podcast.
For sure.
But for now, there are things that you can do to protect yourself. And frankly, there are things that many of us have been doing this whole time and doing them all along. But I wouldn't say it's a cause for panic. I would say that it's an opportunity for change.